And this is an announcement from the Latino Leadership Alliance Political Action Committee, which is the political arm of the Latino Leadership Alliance. So it's an honor for here to be today with Senator Menendez. The Latino Leadership Alliance Political Action Committee is announcing today its enthusiastic support for the United States Senator Robert Menendez for another term in the United States Senate. Since he was elected to the United States Senate, Bob Menendez has consistently stood up in the Senate to defend the interests of working families and Hispanics in New Jersey. As the first person in his family to graduate from college, Bob Menendez understands that education opens the doors for opportunities. As such, he has fought to increase federal student loans like Perkins and Pell, so students who cannot borrow money from their parents to fund their college education can still pursue their dreams of earning a college degree, as we've been discussing today, the whole day. Bob Menendez has stood up for our community and successfully, working with Congressman Luis Gutierrez, convinced President Obama to stop the deportation of eligible Dreamers. And today we have Senator, we have a delegation here from some people from the Dreamers that were speaking here today to the board and the students. JAP and Latino Leadership Alliance Political Action Committee is proud and honored to endorse U.S. Senator Bob Menendez for re-election to the U.S. Senate because he's a true champion who is really fighting for our New Jersey working families. He cares about health care reform that makes health care accessible to all, and he has been instrumental in supporting the efforts of the Latino Leadership Alliance in the creation of the Latino Health Institute. He has been a champion for us, and for that we ever be grateful. New Jersey needs Senator Menendez leadership and an unwavering commitment to fight and stand up for our state working families and Hispanics in Washington. The election is in New Jersey. It's in the 6th of November. And it's less than 3 weeks away. So we ask to all our members, supporters, our friends, to vote for Senator Menendez. He deserves a second term and to the U.S. Senate. And we hope that we all of us engage in an active effort and send him money and votes. And in last election, I don't know if a senator knows this, but the Latino Leadership Alliance, Angelo Genova, called me, and he needed bilingual lawyers, and we provided a team of 5 lawyers who worked, including me, the whole day, supporting your vote, including me and my son. So we are, if you need the lawyers, the team of bilingual lawyers, they will be available to the campaign. So I would like to before I put the senator to speak to us, is one of the, I understand that the representative of the Utility Workers of America would like to make a statement of support too.
Yes, for all the work that you've done in the arena of working families, Utility Workers Union of America do appreciate all the bills that were sponsored and everything to try and create jobs, and we just want to let you know that we supported you the last time, and we're going to support you again. We're going to stand behind you.
Thank you.
And you have our full support. Thank you very much for what you've done.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else want to say something? Because I would like to give the opportunity now to our senator, that he's the junior senator from New Jersey, but he's the senior Latino senator in the U.S. Senate. So with you, our friend, Bob Menendez.
Thank you, Michael. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, thank you very much, Martin, and to the Alliance Political Action Committee for your support. I appreciate it. I have worked hard to, I believe, earn it. I don't believe you get any of these things just because you're Latino or whatnot. It's because of the work you do to empower our community and strengthen our families and realize our hopes and dreams and aspirations together. So I very much appreciate it. I wish the press was here. I don't understand the importance of what you mean as an organization, why they're not here, but we'll get the word out, and I'm sure we'll work with you to get the word out as well. You know, this election is about what morning in America looks like after the 7th of November. And there are two different visions in that regard. One takes us back to the very same challenges that we have been working out of. One takes us back to two wars raging abroad in Iraq and Afghanistan, both unpaid for, put on the next generation of Americans, where many Latinos served in the armed forces of the United States. One of those two wars I don't think we should have ever been in, the one that I voted against in the war in Iraq. I look at the young men and women who come back sometimes as I visit in Walter Reed Hospital and see the challenges they now have in their life, having lost a limb, sometimes having lost their sight, and I go to sleep at night knowing that, at least in that particular conflict, I did not send them into harm's way, because I didn't think it was in the national interest of the United States. But there are those who speak freely about sending our sons and daughters to war. It's very easy to do that when you see only a certain part of the American population in the uniform of the United States, or a disproportionate part of the communities of color as those who are defending the country. I don't take that lightly when I cast a vote on war and peace. I don't take lightly the excesses that brought us to the financial challenge we've been working out of. I believe in a free market, but there's a difference between a free market and a free-for-all market, where large financial institutions made risky bets that became the collective risk of everybody in America. And we all had to ultimately meet that challenge so that the whole nation wouldn't go into not a Great Recession, but a new depression. And so Wall Street reform is incredibly important. Some people say they want to unshackle Wall Street. Well, we had an unshackled Wall Street, and we saw the consequences of it, and we've all been living through it. Some people believe that in the theory that tax cuts for the very wealthiest in our state and in our country ultimately creates greater economic opportunity and will grow jobs. Well, if that's the case, we would be showering in jobs, because for over a decade that's exactly the policy that we've had. And yet we do not see the growth. We see an explosion in debt, but we do not see the growth at the end of the day that some suggest. So I believe in wealth. I want everyone to achieve it. But when you already have it and the country is in such necessary times, the last thing I think we need to do is to give from our collective money that we all pay for greater amounts of money to those who already have great wealth, instead of working families, those struggling to get into the middle class, those in the middle class who have the greatest demand and need. And so I've never seen a building built from the roof down. I've seen edifices built from the bottom up. And so we believe very strongly in that this middle class is the strength, the foundation of America, and helping them realize their hopes and dreams and aspirations is very important. I don't believe, as some suggest, that you deserve the education you can afford. Well, if that was the case, as someone who grew up poor in a tenement, the first in my family to go to college, and only able to do so as the result of Pell Grants, Perkins loans that I paid back, and working, I would have never gone to St. Peter's College, and I would have never gone to Rutgers Law School. We believe in giving every young person who has the ability and willing to work hard the opportunity to realize their God-given potential. And we have a different vision. We believe in not self-deportation, but we believe in a pathway to legalization, where you earn your right to stay in America. And we believe that young people who know no other flag than that of the United States, and whose only national anthem they sing is the Star-Spangled Banner, deserve an opportunity to realize their dreams, not in a deferred action, but in the passage of a DREAM Act that will ultimately lead them to a pathway to be able to stay in this country. So these are the fundamental differences and choices that this election is about. And what drives me every day to go through the process of an election, which is the ultimate exposure, in which you are subject to the judgment of all of your citizens and subject to all of the negativism, although if you've seen my campaign, I am proud of the campaign that we have led. It is probably the first time in modern New Jersey history that everything that I have done, I can't say for my opponent, but everything that I have done has been positive. I have looked into the cameras, talked straight to the people of New Jersey, and said, this is who I am, this is where I came from, this is why I believe in you, this is what I have done to create economic opportunity and educational opportunity, our latest ad, and I have said nothing negative about my opponent. I can't say that's true in the reverse. So I'm trying to give people in New Jersey and to our community someone to vote for, not someone to vote against. And that is a far different politics than we have seen in the state for the last, at least the last decade. So I appreciate your support. We have not 3 weeks, Martin, because I'm counting the days, 16 days. 16 days, right, Upendra? 16 days? 16 days. But we are not over in this election. You know, I've had to do this all by myself. There is no presidential campaign here from either side. There is no other statewide campaign. And, you know, so basically I've had to do this all by myself. And I think we've done a pretty decent job of it. But we need, in these last 16 days, I always appreciate the endorsement of a whole host of institutions, from labor, on education, from those who protect us, police and firefighters, veterans and others. But at the end of the day, those endorsements are not as powerful as having the individuals from those organizations speak to those who they work with, those who they worship with, those who they do business with, those who are their neighbors and friends and families, to deliver a message of the importance of this election, not just for myself, but for what it means to us as a community and a country. And if you do that for us in the next 16 days, we will be greatly appreciative. And we will continue to stand up for all New Jerseyans, and certainly for those who are struggling to get into the middle class and in the middle class, but as a voice on so many issues where there are others who are silent about the particular issues. Our agenda is within an American agenda, but we have disproportionate realities on health care, on education, on access to capital, on economic opportunity within the American family. And there is very few, until recently, no one, and even my colleague doesn't always necessarily use his political capital on these issues to raise our voices on behalf and proselytize the rest of the members of the Senate to say these are the type of initiatives that will make a difference for the fastest, largest minority in the country, that will inure to the benefit of the nation, not just ourselves, but to the benefit of the nation. So that's what drives me every day. That's why I appreciate your support, and I won't take any more time with the organization other than to say thank you very much.
Yes, Senator, I would like to I would like to ask the board member to come here so we can take a photo opportunity to put it, to send it to the press. Before you do that, I just want to make sure that you understand something. We don't make these decisions lightly. We have the opportunity to listen to both candidates. We don't, as the senator said, we don't endorse Senator Menendez because he's a Latino. We endorse because of his record, his commitment to all the state of New Jersey, to all the working families. The fact that the best candidate is a Latino is what makes Latinos proud. So we are very proud of his record, and that's why he deserves another term in Washington. We want to make sure that he goes there and keep representing us. I would like, look good?
You got everybody?
1, 2, 3. One more time. Last time. I'm good.
1 second, now it's my turn.
I gotta breathe out now.